Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Parvati here from Paro's Craftology. Today I'm here with an art journal spread for you with a vintage romantic theme. So, to start off, I'm using this vintage rose thin deco papers from Craftangles. These are A3 size sheets of a set of two papers in each pack with the same designs. Craftangles has this thinnest deco thin papers, which is just 45 GSM. So these are very versatile and can be used for normal decoupage. You can use it in art journals like I'm using here. It can be used in uh, mixed media canvases. It can be used in journals, etc. etc. Right. So to start off, I'm using parts of this particular sheet which are of my interest. I wanted these pink roses and the scripts, so I took it and I'm sticking it on to my journal using acrylic soft gel. This is again available at Craftangles. Similarly, I fussy cut out other elements from the same deco thin sheet, and depending on what I had in mind and where I wanted the elements to be placed, I am just sticking them all using acrylic soft gel. Next, to add some interest, I am adding some die cut elements. Once I had my fussy cut elements and the die cuts in place, next I'm adding some texture through stencil, and the texture paste I'm using here again is from Craftangles. It's the white texture paste. The texture again is random textures. I'm not applying it all over the page. Next, to add some more vintage look, I'm using this vintage stack sheets, transfer sheets from Craftangles. I just peeled off the plastic coating and pasted it onto a cardstock and simply added some water, dabbed on some water to get my image printed on my cardstock. Fussy cut it out and my tag is ready. Now onto this tag, I am adding "Love You" to the moon and back. This is a stamp from Craftangles. So I was unsure if I wanted it directly stamped onto the tag or if I wanted it separate, so I have stamped it on both sides. Now on to adding some textures onto our background. For this I am using schematic background stamp from Craftangles. Next I'm using checkered stamp. Again, this is from Craftangles. Moving on to coloring our journal page. The colors I'm using here are red rose, Hansa yellow light and burnt sienna. So first I'm going in with burnt sienna to give that brown undertone to both my pages. Once the brown undertone is done, I move on to the next color, that is pink. I wanted the red rose color, which is basically a pink shade, to be the prominent shade for my page. So before starting this particular step, I dampened my paper with a good amount of water, just spraying on water, so that these acrylic paints run through the textures and leave back those color intensity in the area where we have texture more and less otherwise, right? So yeah, that's what you are seeing me do. I wanted the lightest shade on the middle and all four edges to be actually intense pink. And now to the middle portion, I'm simply adding some Hansa yellow. So this is just to gradient down the color and to maintain that vintage effect, right? Now I thought that the background, some of the elements were harshly appearing and not completely getting merged and not looking like a complete set, right? So to avoid that, I went in and added some white chalk pens. You can use white gesso also for the same. Now just to highlight few of the elements, I'm going in and hand drawing them using some permanent ink markers, adding on some more stamping to my background. And now adding the focal element. To the focal element, I'm adding some shadow effect so that it looks like it is standing there as a 3D element. Also to the rest of the page, I'm just adding some brown distress ink in the shade Ground Espresso to make it more vintagey. I wanted to intensify the color of the page even more, so I went in and mixed the red rose liquid acrylic with some white liquid acrylic and created this light pink shade. And like before, I added quite a good amount of water and I'm letting it drip so that again it captures all the textures that we have on the page and leaves the rest, and it leaves that dripping effect. setting my final composition, adding all the elements together onto my page to complete my composition. I also added some script stamp from Craftangles. Also, I had the vintage rose 6x6 paper pack, so I cut out some fussy cut elements, the roses from this paper pack, and that completes my journal page. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. Thank you. Bye bye.